Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Nerdy Stoner Podcast with your favorite huggable stoner, Dexter, aka Smokey D. Sploovy, aka Stash Tokum, aka the Honey Dabber. And I am joined by a very, very special friend of mine today from the cannabis industry, Miss Keisha Reed of
Hello, hello.
Explore Maryland Cannabis. Thank you for being on here with me, friend. How are you doing?
I am doing amazing. I'm doing amazing. I've been running for the last couple of weeks, but I am so excited to sit down and talk with you.
Thank you. I'm excited to have you here. She is a busy, busy woman. Like if you look at her story on Instagram, she's just always any and everywhere. I don't know how she does it, but she does.
I don't know how I do it either sometimes. Lots of cannabis. Lots of cannabis.
Hey, there you go. I'm sure that helps.
Yes. Yes.
So, how did you become the CEO of Explore Maryland Cannabis? Like, how did you get? Well, first things first. Before we get to that, what is your stoner origin story? Always got to ask that question.
Ooh. So if I had to really dig and be honest about, my stoner origin story, I was always around cannabis. I had family members who were incarcerated, during the time of the war on drugs. So I was very familiar with it, but I wasn't, consuming. And I think the first time I was probably really consuming and attached to cannabis is when I went away to California. I was not an age that I'll tell you because I'm sure my mother will see this, but and now everybody knows. And at that, I mean, we all know cannabis is California is the cannabis capital of the world. So I was very much around a lot of older folks who were shotgunning and rubbing me down with. And so I didn't even think about that being how I got into it. But of course, after that, it just kind of was a part of my life in different ways, whether it was brownies that we swore were super stony when they weren't, or some of my hijinks in college.
Ooh, hijinks, do tell.
Well, I definitely remember a homecoming where this was probably the first time I had something that was infused via liquid, and
Mhm.
we mixed it with a jungle juice or a mixed drink in a big old igloo. It was during homecoming time, so a lot of fraternities and sororities were celebrating, and they had this juice, but they were like, it's a little special, and I was like, well, special, let me have it. And we ended up driving all around. At this time, I was at school on the Eastern Shore at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. So we drove up to Salisbury. We drove down to Ocean City. It was a time, trust, a time.
Wow, it definitely sounds like a time.
Oh, yes.
Damn. How do you think that college Keisha and Keisha now would interact in a session together?
I think Keisha now knows how to manage sometimes the anxieties that come with cannabis. I know that when I was in college, in college, you're racked with a lot of anxiety, right? It's the first time being away from home. You've either gained or lost, or you're looking for a boo. There's a whole bunch of things you're finding yourself. And I walked around with a lot of anxiety during that time. So consuming cannabis, while it was something that I did, sometimes wasn't the most pleasurable. So I think
I get that.
now, yeah, intentionally, I use it in different forms throughout the day. And I think college Keisha will be very proud at how I'm not greening out now.
Nice, nice. That's awesome. Aw.
Yeah.
Well, hey, then you could teach her a thing or two, as well.
Absolutely. Like breathe. It's okay. The high is only going to last for a couple of hours. You'll be fine. You won't
Exactly.
die. You will not die.
Sometimes we gotta remind ourselves of that when we get a little bit too up there.
Yes. Still.
Yes, still. Um, but yes, now you are a CEO of Explore Maryland Cannabis. Please tell us more about that. Like, how did this come about?
That's a story for sure. But one thing I want to say is that I use cannabis in multiple forms every day, all day, and I run a business. So I'm a big proponent of folks who say, cannabis makes you productive. It does. It absolutely does. I started this organization in 2018 because I was coming out of a gray area style business in Washington, D.C. And I knew I needed to take my talents to Maryland. We had a medical program that was fully engaged, fully robust. I was probably one of the very first patients to become in the program, become a patient in the program. And from there, a lot of my friends started getting jobs. So I would go visit them at work and they would look so stressed out, whether it was they were new to cannabis, so they didn't have that institutional knowledge. They were working in places where the leadership weren't trained on how to develop staff, and it was still very new, right? Like there are a lot of things that happened in our very early days of our medical program that are so not compliant now.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I'm just like to watch that journey from then to now. I mean, I've taken a few pivots, but I'm primarily focused on helping folks get jobs and start businesses in this ecosystem. And it's truly been working out. I've made amazing friends like yourself. I get to see folks grow through the industry. And I know that as we transition into our adult use market, that my friends will step into roles of supervisor, general manager. They'll be running these places, and I'm just proud to see that growth for sure.
Awesome. Me too. Definitely. I'm really excited to see all of the opportunities that are gonna come for people. Like just so many different businesses can come about from this, and like there are so many transferable skills. Like I came from working in restaurants, and that definitely helped on the dispensary side because you gotta the menu's always changing, so you gotta keep up to date with it. You gotta be able to memorize it quickly. You gotta be able to explain it to people, and just
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh yeah, things are always changing, and that's one of the things I love about cannabis. My background is in digital marketing, so I've always been in a very high-paced industry, whether it's tech or a nonprofit sector or even just corporate government marketing. I've always loved the fast-pacedness of industry. So now being able to kind of create my own path, I'm able to set my day and still enjoy the fact that we're what 60 days away from adult use essentially, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, something like that.
I think I definitely counted 78 a couple of weeks ago. I mean, if at the time of this recording, we are still in the midst of the overglaze of 420. So like everyone is just, I don't know about you, but I'm just like, whew, I could take a nap, a
Yeah,
long nap.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, the promise of what Maryland will become after July 1st, with the expansion of jobs, with the expansion of ancillary businesses that can grow and support our industry, and it's just really really exciting. And the fact that we can grow at home, right? As
yes,
a patient, that's essentially how I got into the industry. My partner and I, we built a community of women of color who were learning how to grow cannabis, cultivating it in their homes. So, I'm excited to kind of bring those skill sets to Maryland alongside some of my other partners, because while our cultivators here in Maryland do the best that they can growing good quality medicine, I cannot wait to show the power of a craft grow, a home
mm,
grow, something that is very well tended to. And yeah, it's just super exciting.
yes, yes. So many possibilities and exciting things coming down the line around the corner. Like what you said with the craft cannabis, like I'm excited to like I don't know, have a neighbor one day that's growing something, and then we're like, "Hey, I just cropped today. Oh, me too. You wanna trade a little bit?"
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, cannabis is about community, right? Now, I think a lot of the times the political sides of things, whether, the legality, the scheduling, taking that all away, the plant is still something that can grow on the ground if you leave it alone and let it go, right?
Yep.
We are just tweaking it to be top tier. And like you said, I can't wait to be able to be like, hey Dexter, I just grew some amazing blue dream or orangutan or something that I've been breeding for the last few years. tell me what you think about it, right? That I love that culture. I'm originally from Washington D.C. During the I-71 days. There was nothing to be able to show up at a friend's house and have them show off their latest grow that's actively
Mhm.
growing to us consuming it. So it may not necessarily be that loose, but I'm excited for that community aspect to come back.
Absolutely, absolutely. And speaking of community, who are we inviting from the multiverse into our session for the day?
You know, I really want to have a conversation, and we're talking multiverse, we're talking Marvel multiverse. I would really want to have a nice session with Thor. Like,
Okay.
let's talk about it, right? You are a being from a whole another just universe that I necessarily can't wrap my mind around, but also like I want to know what's the cannabis like there, right?
Right?
I mean, it's gotta be amazing. The air, the water, the intention. Give me
The
those.
magic?
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, Thor definitely would be my go-to. If I had to, you didn't ask me to move out the multiverse, but if I had to, pick
Oh no,
some,
you could do anybody anywhere. The
listen,
entire multiverse is open to you.
I'm a big Sailor Moon girl. Like
Okay.
I would definitely love to kind of middle school. Keisha would love to tap into that and be like, now should have been with him long ago, right? Like I definitely want to be able to kind of embrace that inner child for sure. So, I mean, there's tons of folks that I would love to kind of smoke with and get their story, but if we stick into multiverse, those are my top two for sure.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's just smoke with both of them.
Ah,
That would be an interesting duo.
oh my
Like the
god.
conversations that you know. Hmm. Do you think Sailor Moon's worthy?
um, I think so. I
I
think
think so
so.
too.
I absolutely think so. I mean, she can bring her whole crew with her too. Let's just make it a party.
You
Like
you know what? I love it.
same with Thor. He can bring his people too. I mean, yeah, Loki for sure. What was you tripping off of, bruh? Like, let's have the conversation for sure. Um, yeah, if I had to pick those two, I would absolutely.
You know what? I kind of wonder if Loki would be like kind of messing with everybody, like with his tricks and stuff. Like, oh my god, I can imagine him making like an illusion of himself. He's about to pass you the J, and then it just disappears.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Or he sends of his likeness, and then it turns out to be somebody that's totally not him at all. And now we got to fight. I'm ready. I've been preparing for this all my life.
You don't mess with the weed. You don't mess with the rotation.
Ever, ever. Because you know he going to break the rotation. Ha
Oh, he's
ha!
probably gonna turn into somebody just so he can get it passed to himself.
Just switch back and forth. Like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Give me the J. Stop playing.
Oh, I like this party. We got the Sailor Scouts, we got Thor, Loki. Where are we though? Are we in Asgard or are we someplace else?
We are actually in Two Chains $4.5 million mansion right outside of Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay,
Because he's
I like
providing the
it.
weed, obviously.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. We gotta have somebody to supply it.
Absolutely. And Sailor Moon, I don't know, it's okay. She can come, but I don't want whatever she's got to bring. And Thor, it might take a little bit longer for him to really get what we need. But Two Chains is already right there, right? He's already right there. There's a space. He's in cannabis. We can have some dope conversations. I think that would be a great little sesh for sure.
Damn, this is an amazing part. You've really thought this through. I'm very happy with this.
Well, I recently just saw Two Chains. So I'm like, I know I'm this close to smoking with him, like actually passing the J. So it's only up from there. We just got to get the other two on board.
Did you go to the cannabis festival?
I did.
Nice. How was it?
Well, I went to support Marijuana Matters, which is an organization that is actually it's a social enterprise which has three pillars of advocacy, education, and entrepreneurship. I'm big on
Nice.
if I hope I got that right. But basically, I went through their boot camp right after I left my full time job 2 years ago to become where I am now, to get the business foundationals and things like that. So I think, you know, Marijuana Matters definitely deserves that shine. Um, and also, it's organizations like that that pour into people like me to make dreams come true. So even if, in our minds, this sesh that we are imaginarily having doesn't happen, we can at least sesh with the folks at M2. They're cool people.
Absolutely, definitely. Nice. Any particular highlights from the festival? Besides working with them,
Besides,
of course.
besides the rain, the rain.
Oh, I did hear about that. Okay, so I've heard that it like rains every year. Is this true?
So that particular weekend, there's been a standing festival outside of NCF who actually moved because historically that is a rainy weekend.
Hmm.
In the rain, I mean, it was Noah's Ark swimming through RFK in Washington D.C. But I commend the organizers because to have thousands of people under your care and to quickly make a decision to evacuate and still bring the show back. I know a lot of folks were disappointed at the fact that they had to cancel a large portion of it, but they still closed out the show. So I think that, it was a little bittersweet. I've been to the festival a few years. Caroline, the festival organizer, is an amazing woman in cannabis. She puts on amazing events. So I think if you missed it this year, it's okay. It's all right. Next year will be even better. And
Yes.
the best thing about it is there is a cannabis competition every year, the National Cannabis Championship or something of that sort, and Maryland will be able to enter next year. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's
Nice.
gonna be so good, and I'm definitely entering in. So look forward to that.
All right, I will. I will. And speaking of competitions, I don't know if you've seen, but Terrell has announced the second annual CBD cook-off, and your boy is going to be a part of it again.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. Terrell's a really good colleague in the cannabis industry, and the CBD cook-off goes off every year. I'm excited because my operations manager, Sarah, and I will be there live getting footage of the
Nice.
chefs recording. So make sure you come by and tell us all the things that you have going on. But I can't wait. I can't wait to cheer on so many of my friends who do this. Like, y'all do this and you don't necessarily get time to take off and actually do this outside of your job. So
Mhm.
this is going to be big. So shout out to Terrell because, like, I don't know if you've noticed, we haven't had many community events since the beginning of the year. So
Nope.
like I feel like this is the kickoff to summer for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I know he has some other awesome things planned. Like I can't wait, especially when legalization actually happens.
Oh my gosh, the possibilities are endless.
Yes.
Endless.
Yes. Ah, so excited.
Yes.
But we're gonna need some food at this Two Chains house party smoke fest. So what are we eating? What do you think an Asgardian and a Sailor Scout would both like to eat?
I'm not worried about them because they can eat the mythological food that comes from their time. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm at Two Chain's house. I'm going to have him order wings from Magic City. Supposedly, the wings at the Magic City Strip Club are the best in the country. So that's what we're eating. We don't have to go to the strip club. We can walk by like this. I definitely would. I mean, wing. I'm a big wing girl, so those are like bucket list wings I love to try for
Okay.
sure. Not too heavy, right? Nobody wants to fall asleep at the sesh. Wings are good, don't get too lit. Let me put something on my stomach.
Then
Yeah,
keep the party going.
absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, wings for sure.
Do you watch Hot Ones?
I do. I do.
So one of my friends, he has a birthday coming up, and we're gonna be doing some hot one style things on there for him because he loves spicy food. Like
Oof.
the man will drink a bottle of hot sauce. It's crazy.
What now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't drink a bottle of hot sauce, but I would absolutely go down the line of. I'm trying to remember that. Was it California tortilla that had the multiple sauces? They ain't sponsored, so we ain't gonna talk about them too much. But there was a Mexican style eatery chain, like a those that shall not be mentioned, and they had various sauces. So I definitely do remember like putting a little this here, and I'm like, okay, I can go a little hotter. I can go a little hotter. So I can definitely take the heat. But sometimes I look at those Hot One episodes and I'm like, y'all set yourselves up every time.
Absolutely.
Cool
It's
concept.
yeah, yeah, that's true. They know what they're getting themselves into. I love the ones that try to beat it somehow. Like there's this one guy, he's a science YouTuber who went on there and tried a bunch of different science experiments to like minimize the heat. Some of them worked.
Really?
Hmm.
You'll have to link that so folks can know where to watch it because I'm very interested now. I'm like, I'm gonna go look that up because try some things
We'll
for food.
do. I'll send it to you afterwards.
Thank you.
Of course. Oh my god, do you think that yeah, so this is really random, but I just imagined if Thor and Sailor Moon like swapped outfits for a second, or Thor doing like a magical girl transformation
Oh my gosh.
with Mjolnir.
Can I go further random? Have you noticed the magical transformation happening in like modern day animated shows? And I'm
Hmm.
like, y'all better remember who started it, right? I was just watching
Right?
Owl House and I was like, this is nothing but Sailor Moon influence all over it. And I love it. But also Thor taking that 30-minute painting the nails, you know, on top of his head. He has the hair. I'd love
He
to see.
does have the hair.
I don't know how Sailor Moon would transform too much, but I mean, they could both. I mean, they could swap. You know,
Yeah,
it's 2023. No
hey,
gender
it's a
roles.
party.
Yes.
Oh, this is so much fun. I love this.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So I know you're asking the questions, but I would love to know what's your favorite strain.
Ooh, that is a tough one for favorite strain. Hmm. Blue Dream is definitely up there.
Blue Dream's a good one.
Wedding cake, pretty much any cake strain I really like.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, because they usually have a decent amount of like myrcene. That's my favorite terpene. You know, keeps me nice and chill, nice and mellow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah, so something like that. What about you?
Um, I okay, so I mean, in our market, I consistently buy gelato cake and pie crust, which I don't know how close they are. I know gelato cake is like a gelato 33 cut with a wedding cake, and then like pie crust is like grapple pie and Malibu, something, something, something. But they just invoke different emotions in me. Like gelato cake, I can smoke that and be like, oh, I'm getting things done. And also it tastes really good, right?
Nice.
And I smoke pie crust, and pie crust for some reason smells very much. I was raised in the Catholic Church, so it smells very much like frankincense and myrrh when I take that first inhale and blow out, and I'm like, ah, childhood. So very nostalgic reasons, taste and effectiveness always drive me, but those are two that I always go back to for
Nice.
sure.
I'm just picturing you taking a hit of the pie crust that happened like a Ratatouille moment, where you just like go back to your childhood.
It happens sometimes. It happens. Very creative. That's one thing I love about cannabis is typically if I get the right mix of terpenes versus the mood that I'm in, because mood is important. Mood is
Absolutely.
important. I can get really creative for sure. But then there's some things. Sometimes I'm like, I honestly want to take melatonin and I want to be able to sleep.
Hmm.
So I'll find something on the market that allows me to sleep, but the munchies, because the munchies before you fall asleep is the worst. Because now
Oh,
you're up.
absolutely.
I mean, it's not bad when you're in the moment, but afterwards you're like, I really didn't need to eat the popcorn and the chips and drink the soda. Now I'm up for another hour and my stomach hurts. Ugh, ugh, ugh. So yeah, I typically try not to smoke the indicas that give me the munchies.
No, I get that. I get that. It's crazy that we're actually developing strains that kind of don't give you the munchies as much.
I know, I know.
Like that. Could you imagine hearing about that like 5 years ago? Be like, what? All weed gives you the munchies.
All if listen, all weed gives you the munchies and it puts you to sleep. Like
Hmm.
I I never thought in 2005, right, that where I am now is the trajectory that I would be in, especially in cannabis. Like,
Hmm.
I was raised, at least cannabis is very stigmatized still. I go home and they're like, you still doing that weed thing? And I'm like, I just help get the bill passed. Like, what do you mean? I've dedicated my life to this at this point. So I think we still have a lot of like things to talk about around the dinner table, but also it's pretty freaking cool that I don't have to buy cannabis or weed or marijuana or whatever you want to call it out the back of somebody's car. They open the bag and they're shining the light and they're like, "Isn't this fire?" And I'm like, "I think so. I guess. I hope."
Sure.
Oh, it's kind of is it this brown? What? I'm not supposed to be smoking seeds? Oh, okay. So I think we definitely come a long way, but there's so much farther to go. I think about Sharissa Jackson, who's developed a app that allows you to, um, I guess, genetically pair yourself with cannabis. So
Really?
yeah, very much like a DNA test. And it's
Huh.
compiled. It's really cool. You should definitely check it out. We Decode is the name of
That's
her business.
yes, I'm definitely gonna check that out. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, she's Maryland based. She's a veteran, so um, yeah, you should definitely hit her up for sure.
All right, we'll do. We'll do. Well, I'm not gonna take up too much more time of your night. Thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it.
Of course, this is an amazing sesh. I can't wait for us to sesh in person
Yes,
because
yes,
that's what it's all about.
exactly. Definitely gonna be doing some in-person interview talks with people like this,
For
especially
sure.
when Threat comes.
Oh, and we outside.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whoo! I mean, I see you at conventions, so you're kind of outside. You're getting there.
I'm
You're
getting
getting
there.
there.
I'm getting there.
So it's
Oh,
coming.
speaking of cons, I told you about BlurredCon. Are you gonna go?
I have it on my list. I have not made an executive decision, but stay tuned because then I gotta
Okay.
figure out what I'm gonna cosplay. That's a whole should have started that
Well,
months ago.
it helps. The theme is Black Fae Day, so if you have any fae, fairy, mythical creature type ideas you've been wanting to try out, now's the time.
I think uh I think I may have something in mind.
Okay, okay, looking forward to it. Well, before you go, definitely please plug anything that you would like. Let the people know where they can find, follow, and support you. Anything that might be upcoming that you're looking forward to.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Well, friend, thank you for having me. I wish we were in person, but I know that that's coming sooner than we both will realize. If
Hmm.
you are looking to stay connected and tapped into what we're doing at Explore Maryland Cannabis, you can follow us on all the socials. Just search Explore Maryland Cannabis. We may be shadow banned in places, but you'll find us. You'll find us. Um, as we roll through the summer, we have a monthly live show that we do up here in Baltimore County. You can come through, you can sesh, we sit and talk, and me and my co-host shoot live. Our episode coming up this Saturday is on cooking. So we're talking a little bit about the history of edibles. We're talking about cooking with cannabis and, some giveaways and all of the things. So April 29th, 3 to 5. But we do that monthly. So that's through the end of the year for sure. But other than that, I'm looking forward to July 1st. I'm looking forward to supporting you in all of your endeavors, whether they're
Oh,
cannabis or
thank
not.
you.
Of course, of course. You're good peoples, and I think that good people deserve to be supported. So whenever you call, whenever you text, pigeon, whatever it is, I got you.
I'll send some smoke signals.
Yeah, those two. Make sure that they're cannabis smoke signals, please.
Of course, of course. All right. Well, thank you again, friend. I appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to session with you and seeing you in person.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
All right.